this is Therese of Happy in Business, and I'm so excited to have you here today. Woohoo! So today I'm going to be talking about the concept of, are you sacrificing your life at the altar of your business? Now that might sound like, what? Who would do that? But y'all are doing it. It's an epidemic. We are trained that more is better. We are trained that, your identity is very much what you produce. We're trained, at least I was raised in this business in the last 14 years, in how to do it in a very masculine, go, 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 go way. So I'm very excited today. I'm gonna talk about, like last week I did a live that shared about the concept of how to create wealth of the self. Because guess what? Your wealth is way more than just the dollars in your bank account. And if you're just fixated on that, it's going to be a little bit difficult, right? And so what I thought I would do today is I want to bring in a client of mine that she's such a beautiful demonstration of the concept. Because midway through our work, I was like, dude, you just have got to start focusing on something else. Measure something different. And if I can figure this out, I'm going to have you. Hi guys, I'm so glad you're here. Let me see if I can figure out how to add somebody. Nope, hold on. So let me, okay, I don't know if I can figure this out. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Okay, now I'm lost. I don't know how to invite somebody. Friends, there we go. Loren, how do I get you to watch, love? Where do I know you're here. How do I click on you? Hold on. Where's Loren? Hold on. Sorry, this is so messy, guys. I got to figure out how to add somebody, and I'm not sure how to add somebody to this video. Okay, add. Okay, yes. Here we go. You're Loren. Okay, we should be here in a second. Are you there?
I'm here.
Yay! Perfect. Okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Get my volume. There we go. Okay.
Get your mic.
All right.
Okay. There's a lot of background sound.
Oh, really?
Okay, that's better.
Okay.
Okay, welcome. Wait, do you have an external mic you can do?
Yeah. Hold on. I have to do it with my Bluetooth.
Okay. Is that better? Anyway. So you guys listening, Donna, Glad, Christy, can you hear okay? Can you hear all of us okay? Just say yes, thumbs up. Sorry for the technical glitches. Oh, that's so much better.
Excellent.
Sorry, I would have been teaching like, we don't want that. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So this is Loren North, one of my just beautiful, amazing clients. And so it's great if I teach like, oh, here's how to do it. Here's some principles. But I'm so excited to have actually a case study that demonstrates the principles that I want to share. So first, Loren, we've worked together for a while, and it is so delightful to have you. So why don't you start a couple pieces. So I want you to start first by saying, tell us what you do. Tell us what you do. And thanks, everybody, for being here. I'm really honored. I'm so appreciative that you're here. You're going to really benefit. So watch as long as you can. And if you can't stick around, come back and watch the replay, right? Because this is going to be loaded with some really tangible nuggets. This is not a selling call. This is a teaching call. I want you to understand some specific concepts that Loren has mastered and is mastering, and she's getting, we've 10x her business. So that's a pretty darn good result. Okay, so tell us in the beginning, Loren, who you are, what you do.
So my name is Loren. I'm based in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am a clothing stylist and personal shopper. I work with men and women who are ready to transform their lives. So it's really awesome because a lot of times they've gone through a significant transition in their lives, be it a birthday, a move, a job change, a lifestyle change, and their style no longer works for them. It doesn't really match who they are anymore. And so I transform lives. And I do this in a way that honors the environment. So I do this all based in sustainability. So I restyle what my clients own, shopping their closet. And then when we do actually shop for clothes for them, I do that at consignment stores. So really focusing on the restyling and reusing.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, when I first met Loren, I was like, when I think styling, that'll just be me. I'll be like, does this person like make my butt look big? I was thinking Kardashian-esque, not to bash the Kardashians, they're fabulous maybe, but Loren has such a different take on it. And in the beginning, it wasn't as solid, right? And so Loren has really morphed into the whole sustainable. Loren used to be a geologist, right? And so it's like finding the story and blending the why are you different? How are you different? And why does it matter? Why does it matter? And so it's been so cool. How long have we worked together? A couple of years.
It's been almost 2 years. It's like a year and a half. Yep.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So tell them so Loren walked into a meetup group of mine and I'm like, oh, she's so smart, but kind of lost. And I think you cried once and I'm like, I could help with that. Right. And so you crazy woman signed up. And so tell me where you were. I want to hear the picture of, because you were newer in business, right? So tell me where you were in the beginning, kind of like, what was the state of affairs? Because you know, Loren, you heard she's a geologist. She comes from an analytical, scientific, more masculine way of working, right? So give the before.
Yeah, so I was, it was like at the end of my first year fully in business. I quit my corporate job and done this crazy thing on my own. And I was at that point where, you know, you do everything in a business. You network, I had my website, so wrote my blogs, was doing a lot of website updates, if you will, things I probably shouldn't have been doing. Coming up with content, trying to reach my clients through, a number of different avenues. And because two reasons. One was it was still my first year in business, and two, I was trying to do too much. I felt like a failure because I wasn't getting the results I wanted.
Right. Yeah. When I talked, because I know there was that one session where you were so broken, if you will, or just hopeless, like, God dang it, I've done everything, right? So when I started with Loren, what we started doing is peeling things off. Like, okay, let's look at, you're going to how many networking groups a week? You're putting how much time out? Is it working? So one of the tenets that I work with is this, how to have a wealth of self. How do you not sacrifice your life at the altar of your business? Is what brings you life? What's working? So there's the logical, analytical ROI, but there's also the energy. So talk about in the beginning, like, what did we start peeling off for you? Because a lot of people, there's the way to do it, right? The way. And so how was it in the beginning when we started pulling back things for you?
Well, there was a lot to pull back.
You were an overachiever. Yes, you were.
There was the mindset blocks and things like that I couldn't see, without your help with that. And once we got through some of what I will call the intangibles of the mindset stuff, like stuff with, childhood and things like that we got through, then it became the more tangible and the do everything energy and the masculine energy. And starting with, I still felt, and this is well into year 2 of my business, I felt like, I'm a, I don't have value unless I'm making money. I came from a high earning income. I went from 6 figures to no figures, in my first year of business. Right. That was really hard. But again, that kind of masculine energy followed me because it was like, well, I know the solution. I'll just do more.
Do more. So logical. It's so logical, right? That makes sense. It's not working. Do more. Do more of what's not working.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. And then, because I had started as well, then it was like, you still, again, the doing more thing then segues into, networking and still trying to show up at all these events, still trying to be, run my own business, work with clients. And even though I'd scaled back the networking, because I have another coach I work with as well, and she had said that, she's like, I don't want you to be going to this many network events at the end of the year. And I'm like, that's crazy. And then I started working with you, and you're like, you need to do less. I'm like, okay. And so, but to me, I had scaled it down, but I hadn't scaled it down enough. And so that was part of the layer, right? So scaling that back of like, less networking. Are there things that I'm doing that truly a virtual assistant can do? And then also, of course, getting into the whole, like, not just looking at the financials, because that was still the big,
we're going to talk about that in a minute. Yeah. Well, so what I heard is, we all have this belief that basically you are what you create, right? And so talk about that, because I think I can do a gender thing here. Definitely men are socialized. You are what you earn very, very, very often. but it sounds like women are too. I mean, we are like, if I'm making money, I'm awesome. If I don't, I suck. Right. So how was that for you? That like the up and down and the quest for, because again, coming from the six figures to the no figures, that kind of sucks. Right. So talk about that a little bit. It's like your whole identity had to rejigger your whole identity. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So it was not fun to go through that.
Don't scare them, love. Don't scare them.
I mean,
but
what
you're
I was
willing.
really
That's what I love
not
about
the
you.
work with you.
So
the work.
Okay.
The going from, the identity shift to going from that person who had the career to, walking away from that, shifting it 180 degrees. That part's exciting, but also not fun. The working through it stuff is challenging, but way better than what I was going through before.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, it was, what ended up happening is that was really one of the critical things that we had to do was, and I almost forgot about this. It's funny you're asking it, is writing a letter to my old self to let her go. And the thanking her for, that was the other thing, because I was definitely in a place where I was very binary. It was like, oh, well, I'm not a geologist, therefore my past didn't, help me at all for my future. And I just walked away from all that. Now I'm here and this sucks, right? And it was, you helped reframe it to, no, your drive and your education and your career and all these things that are you got you here. So you need to it's honoring
honor it,
thanking it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And letting go the parts that no longer serve you. So kind of taking what I could moving forward and letting go the other parts and, honoring them and thanking them for this.
Yeah.
That was
nice.
Huge.
That was huge. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So a couple pieces in there. It's like what I would say, and this is not new information, but what got you to here, even what got you to your six-figure income could not take you to be an entrepreneur in your own business creating money.
Exactly.
And it doesn't, you wouldn't think that it wouldn't transfer. It doesn't transfer. Well, it doesn't transfer if you want to have a life. if you want to have a business that kills you, it perhaps could transfer. If you want a business that burns you out and you hate, that might transfer. So the like work till you drop, just go. In this business, especially, you are a service-based business owner. You sell you. You're not selling pens or insurance or stocks or anything else. You are the commodity. And I got to tell you, people watching, when you are the commodity, whoo-hoo, it is a different game. You are going to be against every limiting belief. You're going to be against every cultural belief, every gender bias. You're going to hit so much stuff. And people are like, what is wrong with me? Because how could I do it here and not here? Especially as Loren's been on 2 retreats with me. And the first one, she was in my living room, my retreat here. And I'm like, you have to be the most effective, powerful, talented person I've ever met. Jesus God, woman, what can you not do? I mean, you're around Loren for 5 minutes and you're like, how do you live in the world? You got it so together. And in her business, she couldn't have it so together. And so to be in a career and be a person that makes stuff happen very successfully, and then in your business going, what the fuck? Really? I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do and it's not working? So talk about how that felt, because that's the moment I said, measure something else. But just talk about the pain of that, because it's a horrible, soul-crushing, should I just go sell shoes,
Yeah, it basically up to that point, you're always looking back. I can always go back to what I did before. I can always do something else. That's how it feels, because you don't have the traction in your business that you want.
Yeah.
You're, like you said, you're successful in other areas of your life, and this is not it. It's not translating what you think you know and should be able to do. It's not working, and that really was it. The whole I can just go back, and that was holding me back too. That thought. But
we said burn the ships, no going back.
Yeah, it is soul crushing, because because you have those moments where you do this great work with your clients, and then it's it is that roller coaster, right? And then it's it just goes dormant, and then you think, well, what did I do wrong? This isn't working. I suck, and because you're just measuring it against those financial tangibles.
Right. Yeah. So the first belief you had was, I am what I earn and what I produce, and the dollar amount at the end of the day completely defines the person of me. The second belief is, I have to do everything and I have to be there for everybody and be everything to everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a no-win. We've all done that. Raise your hand if you've not ever played that one, which will destroy you. And so in addition to pulling off networking, we started, because when Lorraine came to me, she was charging this much. Oh, you wouldn't believe how much she's charging now. And now she's like, I only want to work with this person. I only want to do it in this way. I'm only going to show up for this. So this having to be everything and do everything, speak to that one, because that bites you. And it's hard to because see, there's the myth that I can help anybody. But by helping anybody, you help nobody. And so when you're trying to grow your business, to do this with your time and energy and who you're working with, it's kind of counterproductive, right? So how was that for you? Because that was a big one.
So you mean like niching down,
niching down with your time, like because you've really up-leveled what you want to work with,
Yeah, so I got a lot more specific about who I want to work with and how I want to help them in my process. But then I also stopped doing things that, and it's like you have to grow into this, and that's what this process was with Therese, is like, would I pay someone my hourly rate to do this stuff? And the answer was no. I started hiring virtual assistants in the middle of last year. Okay. So it was, and that's been, an ongoing thing, and it's been very good though all the way around. Some I'm still working with, some I'm not, but it helped me then get really clear. And this is another fellow business owner of mine. She has a different business, but I'll never forget her saying this on a mastermind call. She goes, I want to do two things. I want to create content and work with my clients. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. I was doing everything else because the content comes from my brain and I want to share that and get that out to my audience and the world. And then I want to work with my clients. And so I kind of was keeping that in my brain and offloading things as I could to virtual assistants. That wasn't like, if I created the content, then they can do things that are replicating it or getting it out there once I've generated it.
Right.
So,
but you had to trust, right? The three things I talk about in my methodology is faith, trust, and surrender. Yeah. Yep. So you get the idea of like, wait, I don't have to do this, because that's what you're getting. And then you have the faith to act on it, and you have to have trust and just surrender, like, holy shit, I just made this big investment in these assistants. It's money going out, and I'm not. So this wasn't your strong suit, like like the sitting, waiting, trusting. How were you with that?
I literally have had to, I read books, like I have a daily meditation book, and I work with you. I mean, I've literally had to train myself to have trust, faith, and surrender.
Yeah.
But it works. That's the thing. It works.
Woo!
Like it works. Yeah. It has not come naturally to me, but there have been many times, even the beginning of this year and this month, where I've been like, oh, that, whatever didn't happen. And then I catch myself with like, that's okay. Like, show me what's next, universe. And I'm not saying it's smooth all the time or that I have a smile on my face, but I know enough to do it and not spiral down. And always something something else happens, because I was a big outcome controller, and that never gets you what you want. So.
That's a myth, right? I mean, the myth that we can control all that. So when I think of you, I literally, and I keep referencing, there was that one session where I just was like, you're killing yourself here, Loren. Stop, because you had the constant focus on, well, the income, and I'm just like, okay, let's look at other things. And I think you just were like, I don't even know what is there something else what I look at? And so I think I said, okay, like, how many new contacts, how many opt-ins, how many new sales calls did you have? How much did you meditate? How much did you play with your husband? How much joy did you have? How much, like, I gave you the tangible and the intangible list. Yeah. And it was a stretch. Like we literally, because she's a scientist, right? We have to do research with her. we have to do little experiments. So we're like, for 3 weeks, experiment on changing your focus. Get out of the habit of only focusing on the number, because it will just take you down. And you cannot create from the energy of like, shit, I need money. You cannot. No client wants to sign up for somebody that's like that.
Yep.
And so talk about what you measured and what that process was, because this is what it takes. You know, if you're going to grow your business, you can't be a freak. You cannot be in your P&Ls just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You have to you're like, okay, I got to take care of me. I got to make sure my energy is good. And then I can look at the numbers. Then I can do the tactical pieces. So talk about, because this is the most important piece of this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was really a case of like we were talking about, like because my value was attached, attached to monetary amounts or achievements. Then it was like if I did have a less than stellar financial month that was just dictated by me, it was totally subjective, whatever that was, right?
Right.
Then then it's that whole I suck, the business, and we get into that spiral. And so that session we had was about, like you said, measuring other things. And so the one that always stands out the most to me was when you were like having more joy in your life and doing things that bring you joy. And I'm like, that's crazy.
What? Why would you want a business with joy?
Right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
And so then it was like writing things down, like what can I do daily? What can I do once a week? That, especially on a Monday through Friday, because most of us are ingrained in this Monday through Friday, thing of like what brings me joy. And it doesn't have to be something that's super expensive or even costs money, but it could be very simple. Just, for me, it was like reading in the morning or like taking a walk to the coffee shop that I can do, or hanging out with my cats more because I like to hang out with them, hanging out with my husband if he comes home early. So it's like the stopping of the work, not to just not work, but stopping it because I had to interrupt that cycle that I was in.
Yes.
And like you said, it's other things. Am I moving my business forward? So it's like, am I, doing things to move it forward that don't necessarily have like this financial, tag attached to them, but it's not like, oh, I'm going to stop writing my blogs. I'm going to stop doing all this stuff. No, I still kept chipping away at it very slowly.
Yeah, right.
But I wasn't so freaked out, like, oh, well, that didn't work, and that's the spiral of like, we just really want it all to happen as soon as we like get it out there and publish it. And then like you said, I wasn't like, I think, and I forget how you said this, but it was like, if you're someone who's not like enjoying their life or happy with their life, like people don't want to work with you. Like that's that's the problem.
It's not attractive, not
it's
a magnet.
No. Yeah. And it was a lot of like being joyous or being happy with my life or being very satisfied with it, that I had to be that person, because then people want to work with someone like that. And that's a game changer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that's why, again, this is called, are you sacrificing your life at the altar of your business? And most of us have not been trained in this way. Most of us, I mean, I was dating a man one time and he was so miserable, but he had a pension and he had vacation time. Yeah. And so it's just like, really? And that was all he wanted. But he was miserable every single day. He ended up dying early. And so you get to choose. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of teaching. People aren't talking like with my clients, what I say, and you can attest to this, right? I help people make money by having them do less. Right? And so didn't you have your greatest month? You were out of town for like a week or two and you had your biggest financial month.
Yep. Yeah. So like and that was the funny thing is October of last year, that was my biggest financial month, and I was literally in Hawaii for a week. And then that was surpassed by November, and that was so this is a great example of my applying Teresa's lessons.
Yeah.
We had a conversation of, I'm like, I want to be able to travel more. That's not like the big vacation like with my husband, but I like doing things on the weekends or just having that freedom, right? Freedom was a big part of why I started my business. Like I don't have to be anywhere necessarily to work all the time. I can do something virtually. Even if I'm just working on my business, I don't always have to be in Phoenix doing that. So my test was, well, I'm going to go to Colorado for a weekend because I used to live in Denver. So for the first weekend in November. And I remember it was like such a stretch for me. Like I flew on points. I still have airline points. And I was like, oh, can I stay at an Airbnb? It was like a big moment for me and a stretch. Yeah. But you said to me, you're like, how do you expect to have what you want if you don't start doing it? And that was a big resounding refrain. I'm like, if this is what I say I want this freedom, I want this flexibility, but I'm not doing it, then I'm not going to get it. Yeah. And then November was my best financial month.
And I got to say, I told you so.
Yeah.
I might have said that or maybe not anyway. So I'm that guy that will say that. Yeah. So it's just, you're just such a beautiful demonstration because, you know, a lot of clients come to me and they're already like woo woo, and you weren't woo woo.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Nope.
like, cause Lauren was in a mastermind and then we're like, you're coming to our side. So to develop the faith, when you think about it, you're a scientist, data rules, research, facts. I mean, that was the world Lauren was living in. And so now you have the blend. You've that's really cool blend of being very grounded, and you've got a beautiful business model now. And you're learning, you know, quantum physics, and you're really expanding, and you're trusting, and you're happier. And tell us what's happened in your business. Where are you now? Because you talked about when you first started, kind of shitty. Where are you now?
Oh boy. So now it's like you know, I've written a letter to my past and let it go. And like a big moment for me last year was so I had 2 licenses to practice geology, and I let the final one go last year. And that was really hard because that was it. I mean, not that I can't be a geologist again, but it was like, you know, you have to retake those exams and study for them. And it was like letting go.
Burn the ships.
We burned the ships. So that was huge. And then really what happened was in like, I want to say, I just had these numbers up. I was looking at them, of course, but like July and August, I want to say, were very low income months and very high expense months. And that was that faith and trust and surrender all wrapped into one, because those are the months that I hired virtual assistants to do a number of things for me. Some of them were one-time things that just needed to be done, but some of them were ongoing. So to do a lot.
Right.
And that was scary, but it was like, I am just running myself into the ground, like you said. You know, just do. That's leveled off, but it changed, like almost in a way, it kind of changed everything. Because it gave me a new way to look at my time and how much I do. And everything is a lot more peaceful right now. Like my clients are finding me. Like the one thing that is, I guess I could have said at the beginning, like I've set the intention pretty early on that I want my clients to find me via the internet, and I was doing lots of things to help that and hurt that, but kind of gotten to a place now where that intention is out there, and that's how it works, of either my existing clients, referrals, word of mouth, or the internet. And I had to stop interfering with that. And so now that I've stopped trying to make that happen, I'm able to create the content I want to. You know, I love to talk about sustainability and fashion, whether someone becomes a client or not. I'm very much a mission-based business that way. So I have the time to get that message out there. I'm more relaxed. My people are finding me, and I have that ability now to be like, well, that didn't work out. Well, what's next? That's that big faith and surrender, and just, okay, like what else is out there? And I never had that skill before.
And tell them about your new selling skills. So she took also my selling program. Tell them that's huge. That's huge.
Well, so there I was. That is huge. I want to say this was in September of last year, September or August, I want to say. I called it my Scarlett O'Hara moment. I'll never go hungry again. So
we've all had those.
We've all had 3 sales calls that all just flopped. Did not become clients. And I had taken, so that was last year's 2018. So in the beginning, at the end of 2017, I had taken Teresa's Selling to Serve online course. And so bought it, went through it, and practiced half of it. So had my Scarlett O'Hara moment. And you realized, like, I am not going deep enough with these clients. I'm not finding out the why behind the styling, because as I said at the beginning, I'm transforming lives. I'm not just buying clothes. So if I don't make it about that on the sales calls, they're not going to hire me, because it's not, that's not it. And so I sat myself down. This I'll probably always remember. At my computer on a Monday, cleared out whatever I had on my calendar, and I went through the training series again, the parts where, you know, you teach the whole, you know, going deep with your clients, finding out what their dreams are, finding out why it's not working for them. And it, like, that was a big switch, because it really was, to your point too. Therese said, you know, if you're not going deep with them on these calls, you're also holding back. They're not seeing everything you can do. You're not seeing your personality. Because I do, like, as one of my friends said, he's like, and I'm not a psychologist, I'm not claiming to be, but he goes to me, you're a psychologist and your medium is clothes. And I'm like, you're right in a way though. Like, it's getting really, I'm not just like, here you go, bye. Like I get very, I really do hold my clients. And so I had to show that. And so that Scarlett O'Hara moment that was a big one. There are a lot of big ones last year, I guess. But yeah, that selling course is instrumental, like you said, about having your when you are the service, right? I don't sell widgets. I am
Right.
what they're buying.
Right.
So,
And what's different is, I use the term, it's who you're being. And who you were being was a person that was holding back. You were being
yep.
safe. You'd hit an objection. And this isn't to plug my selling course. This really is about Loren's transformation. And so she would come and go, that sales call. And I'm like, okay, what happened? And we would dissect it all. And I'd say, lean in, lean in, lean in, ask the question, go deeper, hold them. And what was cool is that she could. My little scientist found her psychology part, right? Because here's the thing: if you can't go deep with yourself, you can't go deep with anybody else.
Exactly.
If you're afraid of their feelings, it's because you're afraid of your feelings. If you haven't been here and experienced the pain and the trauma and the shit, that you are not able to hold it for anybody else. And so it's a direct relationship. And so now Loren's packages, she was selling like a little, like, a few $100 or whatever you get started. Oh, they're this big now. She sells the whole thing. Now it's not. Now it's like I can only sell a little piece and hope that they upsell. And now she's like, I'm starting here. I'm giving them the whole freaking thing, and I can do that in a selling call, like on the phone with somebody I've never met, right? And it's because the transformation of Loren doing her inner work and going through this whole thing. That's what it is. So, exactly. All right. Do you want to say anything else? Well, first tell people how they can find you, because you're cool. Like seriously, if you guys. It's literally not. It's not the Kardashians. It's not just does this purse match the bag or match the shoes. If you should hang out with this woman, seriously, follow her on Instagram. She's got great YouTube stuff. Like, this woman is prolific with the content, smart as hell. And and if you're like, I don't like Ann Taylor, you're not gonna, or I'm too fat to wear belts or whatever, whatever your silly story is. Like, this woman has a solution for you, particularly if you care about sustainability and the environment and don't want to cause more harm. So tell them you and how they can find you.
Yep. Yeah. So my website's lorenenorth.com, and I spell my name Loren. So LORENEnorth.com. And you can link to my social accounts from there. My blog is there. You can contact me from that website. So everything is pretty much there. Client testimonials, all sorts of good stuff about how I work and the people I serve.
That's awesome. And do you want to say anything else about the journey?
Oh, well, what I realized last year, at the very end of last year, you and I were talking about this, it was like, I'm where I wanted to be at the beginning of my business, but you have to go through, as you always say, the only way around, what do you say? The only way through is around is through, or whatever.
Around is through, yeah.
Gotta go through it. And so it really, that was a big moment for me at the end of last year, where I'm like, this is where I wanted to be, and where I continue to exist.
And you got there. Yep. You got there. And people are contacting her for speaking gigs. Organizations are bringing her in. I mean, it's really magic. So again, the demonstration that you are more than your dollars in the bank account. You are more than your activity. You just got to do the work. So I'm going to tell you, start by measuring something else. And I love that you remembered how much joy can you have. I love that. Just start there. So if you're watching, check out, did I have joy today? Like, make little logs. Like, right, I'm sure you, because she's analytical, she's probably tracking, doing data, spreadsheets or pie charts or whatever data people do. And so I just want to give that to you. And again, if you have some comments, questions, put them in the comments below. And I really appreciate you watching. And Loren, thank you so much. I'm so proud of you. I feel like a proud mama. Like, oh, my girl, that's my girl. That's my girl. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Much love, everybody. Bye.